3, 2, 1, and welcome back to episode 64 of Chasin the Racin, and we're down at the legendary Boast flat track school, and we're joined by Boast himself. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, boys. I'm doing all right.
And not only that, right, the job's becoming a piece of piss these days, Chrissy, because we look like the flat track school just thrown up on us. You have a look at the YouTube video, and obviously you've kindly sponsored this episode, and we have a cracking giveaway where we'll mention that towards the end. So there we go.
Very good.
So we're down near. It's quite near Cadwell Park, really, isn't it? Where exactly are we?
We're at Glentham, so that's just north of Lincoln, really.
Yeah, not far from Lincoln.
We're a Lincolnshire, proper Lincolnshire yellow bellies here, boy.
And we'll.
So anyway, now that you're the sponsor of this episode, what episode are we on? 64?
64.
I've just heard you say it as well.
Yeah,
That's terrible. So go on, tell us a bit about the business, how you get involved. Go on, plug the business, young man.
It's hard to plug your own business, Paul. I'm good at talking about myself, but plugging my business I'm not so good at. But no, it's good. We're doing, it's a niche thing, really, isn't it? Flat track school. It's a thing that we've had running in England now since 2005, but the school, I've been running that now for 6-7 years. So the experience of a school is really just firstly for people to taste what flat track is. It's a pretty simple sport. Most of the times we're turning left, but we do have some rights and lefts now and again, what we call the TT tracks. But the school is just designed for people to come along, and we don't care. You know, the abilities can be very low standard, you know, literally just pass the test, that's fine. Right up to bloody British motocross championship contenders have come quite, you know, and of course road racers like yourself, which we really do encourage to come.
Oh God, I know I made a right arse out myself, Chrissy. It was an emotional team building exercise anyway.
And were you saying you've sort of some sort of giveaway as well for the podcast listeners?
Yes, we're giving a complete full day of the school away.
For life, I heard.
You know what I mean? He's looking at me now going,
an open invitation. So full invitation, and come down. Do they need to bring kit?
Yeah, so that's the only thing they've got to bring. We provide everything else, the bikes, obviously the tuition, a thing called a steel shoe, which definitely not a lot of people have worn unless, you know, you like yourself, Don, you do strange things at night, but yeah.
Things you do to earn a crust.
Yeah,
that's
right,
you know, I'm not really proud of what I've
come
done.
down, and it doesn't matter in terms of ability, if they've never done it before or if they're really good, come down and they get a full day blasting around the track.
Yeah, we'll teach them from the very beginning to the pitching it sideways going into the corner.
That's fabulous. And now the first time I actually came across the school and stuff, I've seen a little bit on social media, but I was down at the XL show in London, and obviously what an amazing show that you put on in the middle of it's like a centre, really, isn't it? Because it's the same sort of, the NEC and all of that. You go, you see all the new bikes, you can get signatures with riders and stuff, but actually have like a full-on competitive race with all the top riders in the middle of the centre. It was phenomenal. Really, really good show. And obviously it's a good advert for your business as well.
Yeah, it's mega for us, and we actually even get paid to be there, so that's even
happy
better,
days.
isn't it? Yeah, happy days. Promotion, I'm getting paid to be there. But I let Dom ride my bike this time, and it was pretty tough out there, Dom, wasn't it?
It was merciless. It was absolutely howling. You know, when everyone's turning up, getting the gear on, going, right, lads, you know what I mean? It's a big year ahead, and, let's everyone just calm down a couple of bits. Then, right, the first race happens, everyone goes, well, that's not happening again, and everyone starts slapping the shit out of each other. Now, bear in mind, Boast's got it switched on, right? Why bark when you've got a dog to do it? That's what he did. He just let us out like a bunch of bad kids, and go kill yourselves, and we're running each other over.
You'd have thought we had some sort of sponsorship deal as well, because I think all the bikes were logoed up with Chasin the Racin stickers.
Yeah, Dom was on it. He was getting the promotion out there for himself. So good. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's just a good crack, and every year they usually have somebody pretty special there, and it's no exception. But to get UTT boys together was pretty cool.
Because you do it in themes, don't you? So you had, this one was a TT based theme, and then the years before that,
we've had England against Australia, we've had Superbike theme, we've had sort of a GP theme as well. So yeah, they usually pick something to do. So I've got a little insight to what might be happening next year. might be running. Can I reveal this?
Podcast.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to get in so much trouble with MC Ed in a minute.
Well,
But,
it's totally up to you, but
no,
please tell us.
Yeah. So we're having a figure of 8 for next year.
Shut up, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
But there is going to be a bridge in of it.
right.
I was going to say that wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
That wouldn't work.
It would have worked in so many right ways. It would have just been shut your eyes and go for the corner and see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be cool.
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Yeah, it'd be good.
And what time of year does this normally run again? I cannot. It's been like a blur, hasn't it? So
Well, we're all desperate for a bit of riding in February, aren't we? So that's when it happens.
in
So,
February,
yeah.
there we go. It's
Now, we were actually down at I was down at Cadwell Park on Sunday, and had the joy of watching both of you.
Right.
And what a great weekend! And I was just there for the Sunday, but I know you both had a great weekend and out on the classic bikes. Dom was out on the Davies Motorsport. What were you riding?
Yeah, I was on the Ken Rutter Honda. I had a Super Mono bike, which belongs to me, and a GPZ, which rides in the Super Stock 750s or something. Yeah.
so Ken Rutter, is that a relation to Rutter themselves?
No,
or?
it isn't. No,
Right,
no relation. And though Ken's brother finished second at the TT one year.
Right.
About that.
There we go.
Frank Rutter. If you look in the history books, he won second in a production class in the
Bloody
TT.
hell.
So yeah, there is a bit of it. Yeah, but he's not actually related. So
Right,
yeah, but he
right.
builds a real nice 350, and it's absolutely fantastic. I rode the race you won the TT. I think I was line 6 at the time, and. That was, I was dead chuffed with my result, but yeah, well done, boy. You was on it that day. You was flying.
We're kind
Dude,
of
you bloody chasing us out to put my finger up my hole. You know what I mean?
we're kind of touching on loads of different disciplines, and like people who may be listening, mentioning the TT, mentioning short circuit, mentioning flat track. Let's go back to, how on earth did you start racing? Which discipline did you start racing in?
Right.
You're jack of all trades. you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I've never mastered none, but
What a load of crack and bollocks that is, mine. I'm telling you. So let's go for the question.
Schoolboy scrambling, because that's I saw road racing at Cadwell. My old man was a grass tracker, and he bloody good old boy, and so he used to take me along to the meetings. We used to ride after the meeting on some little old bikes when they was pulling the fences up, and we used to bomb around on the bikes afterwards. And then so schoolboy scrambling was the start, but I'd really want to go road racing. I mean, the kids nowadays, the opportunities they've got at a young age, I would have loved, but we had to wait till we were 16. So 16, my dad sold me scramble bike, and he bought me a real crappy 250 Ducati or something, and then that set me on my way for road races. I road raced for 13 years. I was right at the period of the 80s, so I was lucky enough to race against Joey Dunlop. I even raced in two races on RG with Sheeny was in, which
Bloody
was pretty cool.
Was this actual, because you've done the TT, you've done the lot. Now, were you talking about road racing wise? When did you actually get onto an open road race? If that makes, I don't know how to pronounce that any better. A real road, road racing, because you've done Irish scene, you've done everything, haven't you?
Did a bit of the Irish, not too much, but not maybe as much as you've done. But I did a bit of the Irish stuff, did the Ulster and stuff. But so my first, I did the Manx, I think, in '82. So that was my thing, and then a TT in '85. And then rode right through the 80s to 90s. But I didn't ride every year, unfortunately, one thing or another. But I could, you get up to I've had a few top 15s, sort of position at the TT at that time, which I was quite pleased.
Who was the top goers back, like say '85? Who was like winning?
Well,
then?
Dunlop was the man, really. Yeah, Dunlop, and I was good mates with Steve Islop. He was riding Formula 2s. I raced in the Formula 2 British Championship and some of the world rounds. They used to have a Formula 2 world round in them days, and we used to do that. So I was good mates with Steve, because that's how he got going through the Formula 2 races. So we was good mates with him, and he was always ridiculously fast. And so
you see, that's the thing. We don't actually get a lot of guests on that have met these legends. You know what I mean? So what was Steve like then, if you knew him well?
He was always serious when he needed to be serious, but
there's a big butt here, Chrissy. Come on, we're going to get a big butt here in a second.
No, he was. In fact, I think in his younger days he were a bit more free and easy, a bit more of a giggle. We used to have a good time and good laughs and stuff. But I think later on he was a bit of more of a serious chap. If the things were right for Steve, he was. I mean, you got to look at his record. He was faster, so fast, wasn't he? It was unbelievable. But then some days he wasn't.
It's about, like, one of my favourite things is like when when you hear about all these people like your Dunlops and your Hislops and stuff, and you think they are so quick. I would love someone considerably more clever than me to figure out what does it take to be that, the next Hislop or the next Hickman or you know what I mean, or just these people who just seem to have that extra bit of portion. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You got any ideas there, young'un?
No, I'm still
Share
searching,
them,
boy.
share.
I'm still searching. I haven't found it yet, so yeah.
You're still looking. That's the main thing. Logan.
Yeah. We'll keep asking that question, though. We'll get there.
Oh, will I?
We will.
We'll be millionaires,
Yeah.
Rodney. We'll be millionaires.
Speaking of that, like sort of 13-year stretch of road racing, including like pure road racing as well.
Nice spin on that. I like that.
What
Pure
was the
road
next
racing.
discipline that you moved on to?
Yeah, so this was I was doing superbikes in 92, 93. I did my last TT in 93, and in 92 I had a real good year at superbikes. I could get in the top 10 now and then, and was knocking on the door of a bit of a sort of a semi-works ride. But unfortunately, I had a bad crash at the end of the year and didn't think I'd be able to ride the next year. But I ended up riding the same bike and. Unfortunately, I was going around faster, but finishing lower down the field. So, things didn't look good. I was, I couldn't afford new tyres. I was using second-hand tyres and, just stupid stuff like that. And I realised that, that's not going to happen. So, after the TT 93, I decided, I jacked it and I saw this film on any Sunday, which was... have you boys seen it?
Now, hold on. I'm desperate to watch it. Like, it's Steve McQueen. Mm-hmm. And I've never watched it,
Chris.
So no.
I love it.
Right,
we have a podcast about motorcycle racing. We
and
haven't
you
actually
haven't
seen,
watched the most iconic motorcycle film ever made. I'm so mad with you boys. I'm so mad.
I can only apologise. Well, talk us quickly through it then. What's the?
Right, well,
it's on a Sunday.
It's on any Sunday. It's a documentary about motorcycle racing in America, and it's done by a bloke called Bruce Brown, who made, again, in the 60s, a real iconic surf film. And so he went to Steve McQueen and told him he wanted to make a motorcycle film, and Steve says, yeah, I'll be interested in that. And Steve then so he said, well, do you mind if you pay for it? And Steve McQueen said to him, this is a story I've seen on film, and he said, I'll give me a ring. I'll give you a ring. And he rung and he said, yeah, I'll pay for it. It was £2 million in 1970 to make this film. Now then, so that's how bad Steve McQueen wanted this film making, right? So Bruce made this film and it was fantastic. It did follow. Flat tracking was like the #1 sport. So that's my link with the film, because it followed a guy called Mert Lorwell doing the full American scene, but it also showed you all the different motocross, road racing, all the other different sports. But it by the finished the film, it was put into the cinema, and it is till this day the only motorcycle film that's ever been put up for an Oscar. And
shut up, man.
Yeah, not joking. And obviously McQueen wasn't acting in it; he was showing, that's what he enjoyed doing on a Sunday, racing motorbikes, and that's what he did. He did desert racing, he did motocross, he did all them.
I want to know how this got an Oscar. I'm trying to picture this
Up for an Oscar.
dramatic for an Oscar. But I'm trying to picture, what category was it in?
I haven't got a clue.
You were doing so well though, Pete. I thought you had all the facts there.
I thought I knew a lot, but now that's where it was put up. I guess documentary. I don't know.
Must have been.
Yeah.
Must have been.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it was.
And
they didn't win it, but it was.
At the time, did that really open up your eyes to flat tracking in the US?
Exactly, Chris. That was. So I'd seen this film, and I just because in Europe and in England there was none of this sport going on. Nothing. We didn't know anything about it really. Just that the few Yanks had come across, and like Kenny Roberts, Wayne Rainey, people like that, and they were just awesome, weren't they? They'd got this extra skill, and for me, I just thought, you know what, I need to do that. It looks the coolest sport ever, and I want to do it. So, I made it happen in '94 to go over and committed to go over to try and make a living at it, really. But
let's go back 1 second. So let's have comparisons here. So, how big was flat track in America compared to what our British superbikes now. If you know what I mean, it's flat track, seriously like
Would it
that big in
like
America.
sell out stadiums and stuff like that.
Yes, yeah,
Really,
definitely.
that-
Like Springfield, Indy Mile, stuff like that. You know, the grandstands would be full, ram full. I mean,
It's
that
that
was,
big
Do you
then.
think,
Yeah.
not think it's odd that the UK and America are relatively similar in terms of the like. Where I'm going with this is I
similar.
think of us as being very similar types of people.
Yeah.
But our choice in sport is like they've
They've got
they're
a-
massive on like basketball, where like
In
in
Aussie,
our
don't-
country,
yeah.
But
that's what like girls play netball in this school, netball at school, and then like they have a massive thing for like what we
Big
call
baseball.
rounders. They're
Rounders,
baseball,
aye.
and it's like baseball's huge. Where rounders, like nobody plays round. Do you know what I mean?
And
like
they get football backwards.
Yeah,
they play it with their hands.
soccer.
What's all that about?
it's do you know, it's just mad how
Yeah.
we've got totally different tastes, and like it's the IndyCar, the
NASCAR.
like
Yeah.
going around in circles. Like we
That
have
looks
literally
shite, to be
we have
fair, like.
nothing like that in this
No,
country.
no.
It's just odd how we seem so similar, but our choice in sports so
It does, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the same like flat track at the time. You'd
No,
never even seen
exactly.
it in this
We'd
country.
not seen any or anything, so it was, it was different. The fact that I wanted to do it was just like, it felt like when I did get over, it just felt so unreal, like I was in a movie or something. You know, it felt, like if you've ever been to America, it's all razzmatazz and a bit. It feels like
Over
you're
the
in
top.
somewhere, yeah. So it was a bit different, but anyway.
I would love to. We've talked about. I would absolutely love to go over, and even if it was just do a season, I would love to go and do more American travel.
Oh,
Yeah,
around America.
exactly. That
It would
looks
be.
cool.
That's kind of
You
like
go
on, my,
well.
on my bucket list, really.
Yeah. Well, let's do it. You need to do it. You need to do it.
So right, let's get a time frame on this. So 94. What age were you then, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, bloody hell. 26, 7, something like that.
So 26. You've had enough of like road race and everything like that. You've packed your bags. You've left your keys in the ball, and you've legged it.
Yeah.
So
you
what
and
was
the
it? What
missus-
was the What was were you married at this point or not married?
No,
Single?
no,
Just
still single, yeah.
single,
yeah,
mingling
yeah,
about,
yeah.
spreading the seed,
Yeah.
spreading the seed. You're
Spreading the seed across the pond.
that's it. He's off. Oh, I'm off to America. They love these Brits over here. That's it, straight over.
Yeah.
So bloody hell. So like, what was the plan?
Well, the plan all
you
went-
watched
the
Steve
plan-
McQueen,
yeah.
thought it deserves an Oscar, and then after that, you've just gone right. Wait, I'm just
Yeah.
going to get a job.
Let's have
What
it.
job did you
No,
have?
no,
Like,
the plan went completely wrong, Dom, to be honest.
And to be fair, I haven't actually
Yeah.
heard a plan yet.
Yeah,
so-
right. No, there was it just obviously no internet, so to make contact with somebody over there was really hard. I had to put an advert in their Cycle News. English guy wanted to come and race. It was difficult.
Was it literally that
Yeah,
plain?
yeah.
English man wants
the
to
race, yeah, and I got one reply, and look would have it. It was all right.
Oh,
yeah.
positive or negative?
Yeah.
I was about to say piss off.
Yeah. So it was good. So anyway, cut long story short, I just went over. I thought because I'd done other sport like motocross bits and bobs and other stuff. I'd done sand racing at Maybo and stuff like that. I just thought I'll be all right. I'll be able to earn a living at because I'd heard that they earned a few quid doing it. So I thought I'll be all right. And mate, I got over there. I got so wasted because they put me straight out with their pros, and I had not a clue what I was doing. Like I got pretty wasted. So I lasted 3 weeks with all the money I got, and made a trip back home again because I'd nowhere to stay. I'd nothing. So I come back, and I just thought I still wanted to do it so badly, but I thought I need to learn to slide a bike better because that was the one thing that was letting me really down, that I couldn't get a drift on real good or how to control the drift. So I come back and I thought I'll have a go at this speedway job, not to race but just to practice. And then I started practicing at Sheffield at the training track, and then somebody come and said, "Oh, do you want to ride second half?" Which is like, we'll pay you to a ride, which was not a lot of money, but it was enough to ride. I thought, yeah, all right then, I'll do that. And then I ended up racing professionally at Speedway for 7 years, and that was not in the game plan at all. That was not.
You've mentioned about you would love to do a speedway.
I've got my ACU license. I would love to do it. Obviously, when we went to McGuinness and stuff like that, and we respect for what you lot can do. Now, obviously, we were having the crack before this got going. Now, talk us through what you were doing around Sheffield. So the game plan was essentially hold the throttle wide open and slacken the cables till after 4 laps. Now, in theory, I could do that. Executing it, total different matter. You know what I mean?
What do you shut off to load the front and flick the rear out?
Not depends what tracks you're riding. Obviously, there's tracks you've got to shut off because they're more like a paperclip sort of shape, so you've got to roll it off. But you've got to go in flat because you've got to get the thing to turn. The only way a speedway bike will turn is by it's got to be spinning on the rear. So you've got to keep it spinning. So you've got to get it sideways before you get in on the spin. And then you can take it off to scrub a little bit of the speed and pull a locker to slow it down. That's the only way you're going to slow a speedway bike down. There's no brakes, so you've just got to. But on like people like the round tracks, like Sheffield and Peterborough, to name two,
I've only been to watch one at Berwick.
Berwick, yeah, quite a fast track.
Someone's telling me it's like the fastest in the
it's
UK.
Big. It's quite big. Yeah, it's
right.
Quite big.
Because when I watched them lads howling round, it was like, shit. Well, I was up at East Fortune Racing. One of my mates, Jack, said, "Oh, come and watch it." Speedway crack went down. This looks mint, absolutely insane. But there's a lot more to it than just turning left.
Oh, mate, they're simple bikes, but like you're riding 2 or 3 times a week. You're absolutely flat. You get home you match your finish at 10 o'clock. You drive through the night. You get home. You get your bikes washed and everything, and you're away again the next day and stuff like that. So it's really intense. So you're very, very busy. And when you're on the ball, when things are going real well, like Sheffield I've just mentioned, you will do that place absolutely flat out for 4 laps, and it's all on body movement and finding the right grip at the right time and stuff like that. So if you're on the ball, it all goes well at Speedway. It is awesome, but sometimes it does go very wrong very quickly.
Did you get many good decent injuries?
Good injuries.
I love that. No, we're sitting here missing a finger, neck, shoulder, and all sorts. We're just a bunch of races.
Collarbones
that's it.
out.
Like, he's going to limp him. He must be fast.
Yeah. So, it because you ride so much, and this is the same for the top boys. Unlike a little bit of road racing, like you set your saying if you're going to do world superbikes, that's all you do. You just concentrate on that. There's nothing else. Where the speedway boys are constantly riding, literally every day. They could be in Sweden, Poland, back in England, or
what a life.
With it. Yeah, it's flat out. So consequently, you're riding and racing a lot. So injuries. You're very lucky to go through a season without breaking something.
Were you going out to Scandinavia racing, or was it just in this country?
Not really, Chris. But I stayed in this country because, to be honest, I probably could have got. I was like a middle order man in the Premier League. So I started in the 3rd division and ended up elite leader and captain in a couple of teams in that. And then I moved into the main body at Sheffield in the Premier. But I was like a middle order man, which it was good. I could earn a good living and
we like talking about cheddar on this program. So how much were you making on a good season, roughly? Just stabbing the dog figure. How much could you have made?
I don't know total, but like if you had a good night.
Seen his tan line from his Rolex.
There's no jewellery on here, boy.
Put the Mercedes on the back.
You could earn as little as 250 quid a night, which sounds a lot, but then you've got to get there. You still are paying for fuel. You get supporters help you out with tyres and bits and bobs, but and then you could walk away with nearly $1,000 on another night. Like
if it went well.
If it went well, yeah. But then you'd be racing again in 2 days, or 3 days. So you'd be.
It's one in one hand, out the other very very quickly.
You're busy turning it around and that. And then in the winter, I used to go to America and race indoor ice racing, which was on speedway bikes.
You're literally the man of like all disciplines, aren't you?
Well, it wasn't like that
ice racing.
Yeah, but it wasn't like them Russians do with the spikes. It was like like rally studs.
Only the Russians, you know what I mean? Like,
they're ridiculous.
We race like man.
so like they have the little what they call rocket studs. So they're like little V bits at the bottom, and you just turn them, and you fill your tyre full of these like rally studs and that. So it's like speedway, still riding like speedway, but we did indoor ice hockey arenas. So that's what. So we'd land in Texas in January, and then basically it was like a 12-round tour. And the promoter it was like a travelling circus really, but there'd be a couple of Swedish lads, and there's 3 of us Brits. And then there'll be a Canadian, and then the rest were Yanks, really. They called it the World Series, yeah, but it was only in America. But, yeah, World Indoor Ice Series. So you could earn a few quid. So in the winter, that's what we, go over there. And then I used to, it was before 9/11, so we could take our bikes on the plane. So instead of sending the bikes over, you used to fit them in the suitcases, because a speedway bike splits right in the middle. So you take your bolts and you push your subframe that way and your diamond that way. So you get that in, chuck your forks in the middle, get that way. And then you take the tyres off the wheels. So you'd go out, strap them to the cases either side. Your engine was was maximum weight, so you could only have the engine in there. Just wrap that in your leathers, or we used to wear Kevlars, so you wrap that in your Kevlars. So I'd go over there, and in my rucksack I'd have me carburettor and my clutch.
Imagine that bollocks! I forgot my toothbrush.
So yeah, we just rock up there, and then wherever we was, say wherever we was the first round, we'd be in the car park in the motel and just building our bikes up, and then go to Walmart and get our clothes for the next 3 months, and then that was it. Really, that was the way we travelled, and that's how we did it.
So, going around America, was there any particular places that you like really fell in love with and thought, "Oh, I could like live here"? Like, did you go any like real great cities or towns, or like where was the best places you went to?
Lincolnshire.
I think the best place was one of the best places I really enjoyed, because I got on well with one of these Yankee boys, and we ended up staying at his place for a week, and that was Reno in Nevada. And right. it's firstly, it's cheap to eat, Dom. Honestly,
I like how you went straight to me on that one.
Yeah,
Was it the cheap angle or the eating angle, or both?
Both really. Yeah.
I used to like you, Peter.
So because you're only living out of racing motorbikes, so you got to always find the cheapest place to live. Well, in Reno's they call it the small Vegas. So like they have the casinos there. To get you into a casino, they used to do like steaks for like $3 or something like that. So you'd have a right good feast. Never spend a penny in casino, but you get a cheap meal, so that your job was done really. So
Happy
it's
days.
good. It's good.
I wonder if that's still ongoing now.
Yeah.
I think we could take this.
I'll tell you the other thing in that part of Nevada as well. You can ride a motorbike anywhere in the hills. Doesn't matter what the land is, whose land it is, you can ride a motorbike. Long if you don't ride it along the freeway, you aren't allowed to ride directly along the freeway.
Do you mean like Green Lane and type?
Yeah,
thing?
but you could go anywhere.
Do you know there's a massive thing in the country at the moment with issues with Green Lane, and I was speaking to a few of my mates the other day actually about this, and there's not like clear rules of where you can and can't ride, and a few of my mates have been having problems where they're like sort of middle-aged blokes, like responsible. They're not like tow rags, like ragging things, but then they're coming across like dog walkers, and they're trying to be and they're like stopping and taking pictures of them and reporting them to the police and stuff, and it's like there's no like I think they are having issues, even. Do you know Pete Exton's? I think he's even having issues about where he can and can't go, and I think it's his land. But the crossover between dog walkers and do you do any Green Lane or enduro or anything like that?
I've raced enduro in the past, but only.
I thought you would have.
Yeah. Only for fun, really. But there is. I did have an enduro bike for a short while, but I got so pissed off with people. You wasn't doing anything wrong, but people were like farmers was like chasing you just because you'd gone up the byway or something. I was
really?
like, do you know what? I'll not bother, not this on the head. But in where we was in the States, they had a totally different attitude. They was quite happy for you to be riding about.
What about trials? Have you ever done any trials?
Yeah, I'm into trials big time at the moment. Yeah,
I've been thinking about getting a trials bike just for a bit of. Do you think it would be good sort of training at all for road racing?
Well, I've got Nevy. I got Tim into it a bit, so he's getting it.
But have you got like a gas? Or
he's got an old gas car. I've got a TRS now, which is a newer type bike, but it is good. I mean, you hear Jake Dixon doing it. There's lots of riders do it, but obviously it just is a different discipline. Mm-hmm. But it's.
Do you just do it for the enjoyment?
Well, I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to my hardest. We entered the 2-day Manx trial this year. I was up.
Just the deep end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've been doing it. I've been doing it for about 6 years now, but I am not natural at it at all. So I've been working with. I've got me sent into the what they call the middle route, and so I've got to. I'm trying to get into the high route, which is experts, but I'm not quite good enough yet. I'm working. I've been to a couple of. Funny enough, me running a school, I quite enjoy going to a school for trials because
picking up tips.
Yeah,
That's a good
picking
idea.
up tips,
Well, of
yeah.
course, yeah.
I
That's
love the around. It's sort of around this area. Instead of saying myself, people say my sen, me sen.
right. Yeah.
And
What's that short for?
Me sen.
Me sen.
Myself?
Me.
I know, but where's sen? Like what's
Well,
sen?
it's me, innit?
Me sen.
Me sen. What do you mean?
What's a sen?
Well,
Like-
there's no real word sen. There ain't such a word, is it?
It's like you're being a knacker like you are
It's
now.
it's like you're shortening the word myself, but
Yeah.
changing it to my sen, and it's like I love it, but I don't understand where it comes from. Piggy says
Well,
it all the time.
Yeah, well.
I bet obviously you listen to the podcast. I bet you sort of feel like you know Piggy and a few
I
other.
know Piggy, Sugar Tit. I've heard of them all. I thought they might come for a little appearance.
I'm not like all serious. You know who we need to bring down here? Sugar Tits' son, little sugar cube there.
Oh, yeah, he's a good motocrosser.
No, honestly, he's absolutely shit hot.
Yeah.
You would be
It'd be
really
good.
impressed.
Yeah,
You'd be really impressed with him.
So I quite fancy a go at the flat track because I've never had a go, and I know you came down for a bit of practice and did the show.
Yeah, we
and,
did the show because obviously Peter kindly.
What's the skills involved and
Left.
like? Is the idea to like sit on top of the bike and sort of?
So you've done motocross, haven't you, Chris? You're really into motocross. To be honest, your upper body skills will be there. That's just exactly the way you ride your motocross bike. The only little thing that's going to be difficult for you is obviously the steel shoe, putting your foot down and using your foot to stop the front end from tucking away because there's no berm, there's nothing to hold you up. But there is actually a bit of grip, but you could lose the front, and if your foot's in the right place, then you're going to hold it. You're not going to be going down. Now the motocross boys all want to stick their front foot forwards, and if it's forwards, you just can't hold the bike up because it's tucked under near your front wheel.
No leverage.
So I've got. If I was going to say to you, I'd say, Chris, right, get on here. I'd get you to twist your body from your pelvis area, just so your leg went outwards rather than forwards.
Right, got you.
And then at least
See, that was the opposite problem I had when I once tried speedway, and I was putting my leg outwards and it was getting sort of dragged round and like pulling my ankle, and then I had to learn to put it next to the front, like nearer the front wheel.
Yeah.
So it was like the opposite way around.
Yeah, we see again, speedway's so different. You will never turn a bike in with your front wheel on speedway. So the front wheel's just
It's like a bicycle tyre. It's like a really thin tyre, isn't it?
It's not done to really do it. But with flat track, we do a lot. We rely on the front, and that's the reason it's so good to the connection with road racing. Because you're riding it like a road racing bike. You're going in, pushing the front, and then you're in mid corner, and then on the exit, you're trying to find the drive, and you're trying to find that limit. Where because it's on dirt, obviously. It brings it all a bit closer,
Do you know when we were at the Excel show? Obviously, these lads were motoring on, and
They
like
were motoring on.
the race,
They were.
it was competitive. It was good.
Yeah.
Well, are you? Would you have smoked them lot?
Oh, aye.
I tell you what, on the 100, probably not, because they were all going really, really well. On a 450, I don't know what to.
You would back yourself.
Get the bikes out. Get the
put my
bikes
money
out.
on myself on a 450.
You said.
Me said.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, James Hilly was fully. He was using his face more than his
going for it,
foot. He was like,
wasn't
"Buh."
Now we kind of got up to. So you went over to America, came back. You were speedwaying, and then there's a sort of gap to setting up the school. What sort of fills that gap? And how
so
did you
did you go-
originally think? Right, I'll set up a flat track school in the UK.
Hold on, before we get down that route, I got a little bit lost. So you went to America, came back. Did you ever go back to America again
So just
after
quickly,
the speedway professionalism?
Yeah. So in Speedway, I was doing that winter thing in
Yep.
America, but then Speedway in 2003. I just, I'd had enough hurt me son a bit and all the rest on it. So, and then I was really keen still on the flat track, and I always had that intention to go back or at least try and push flat track. I heard it was happening in Holland, which turned out to be basically motocrossers on grass going around in circles. But I did do a season riding in Holland, and then I
Don't
thought,
take this the wrong way. You have got about, haven't you?
Wait, Dom, you're only here once, boy. You've got to get it rammed in, haven't you? You've got to get it rammed in.
We're
boy.
talking about the racing.
Yeah, we are talking about racing. Yeah.
No, but
Nothing
fair
else.
play. So, so Holland, yeah.
And then in '05, I still wanted to do flat track, so I went to the ACU and see if they was interested in starting it, and they just basically said no. But if you want to run it, we'll give you a license. So me and my missus, just Jackie, we started it. Thought we'll give it a go. I persuaded half a dozen mates to have a go, and then a few other lads. We dragged a few other lads. So we did the first meeting, what I would call flat track. So my little bit of experience at that point was when I went over in '94. So we started going. It gradually built up slowly in 2005. But I thought I need to go back to America. I desperately go back to America.
Unfinished business kind of thing, yeah.
So '06 I went. We did the amateur nationals in '06. I did that at Daytona and DuQuoin, Illinois. Because I'd done Speedway, I definitely upped my game a bit and managed to.
No, on a scale of 1 to 10, so you were crap. You got your arse whooped 3 weeks later. You're back at home.
Yeah.
So let's call that a comfortable 1.
Right.
And 10 being top of the American flat track game. Where did you see your skill level get to?
Well, so amateur level, which you go to an amateur meeting, there's like 400 or 500 riders. It's massive. It
at one meeting?
It can be one meeting, especially a 3-dayer, It is massive. And so in that level, I would put myself quite high, probably a 7 or 8.
I like to hear it.
I was winning quite a lot at the amateur level.
Yeah.
So in 2006, we're still running in England, and I was going to America at the same time, trying to back and forth. And then in end of 2006, I got enough points doing the amateur stuff to get me pro license for America. So then I started having a go with the pros, and I was over there from 2007, 2008, 2009, back and forth, doing as many rounds as I could, doing the AMA Championship, which was ridiculously hard still. It's pretty tough, that.
Is that like Superbike?
No, this is in flat track. In flat.
So
flat
AMA
track.
is really ACU. So
sorry, I'm getting mixed up.
Yeah,
right.
So the AMA is the American Association. So
pro level, 1 to 10. Where are you now?
Probably 5, 6.
That's still hellish when you think it. No, like in comparison, we're talking about British, like British level, British superbike level.
So it was what was hard was like I think I said to you, Chris. There, you go to a Grand National Championship round. There'd be 130 pros. You'd have 2 qualifiers. You had to make the top 60 to even get any money. And if you didn't make the top 60, you weren't even riding at night time. So you could travel a day and a half to do that, and you didn't work out. But in between that day, in between that week, there'd be a fairground meeting on the way or something. A fairground meeting is a low key, like a Thunder Sport, say, or whatever you want to compare it to.
Like a club meeting.
So you say if we're going through Kansas, there'd be a fairground over at Stockton or whatever. We'd go there, and they'd have the fair. They would put a big flat track meeting on, and in the pro class, there'd probably be 25, 30 riders. Well, you were virtually guaranteed money then. So if I had a good night there, if I made the final, got in the top 6, rubbing your hands, you come away with $700 or $800 from that meeting. So then you could go on to the next, travel on to the next one and so on. So it was just a journeyman racing sort of thing. I was never, ever going to make it at the very best, but then I could scrape through to earn a few quid and see America and, ride. I mean, some of the great things were like racing the Indy Mile on a twin, and I was there when Roberts. I don't know if you've ever seen that YouTube thing with Roberts where he rides that TZ 750 round the Indy Mile. You boys are looking blank. I mean,
this is brilliant. No, it's all about learning, isn't it? You know what I mean? He's learning Lincolnshire, me saying and all that. And that way about
YouTube that Rossi was there because it was a weekend of the Grand Prix and stuff, and that was pretty cool. And I was racing in that meeting, so that was one of the great things of doing that.
Have you ever done the super? We're doing a grand tour of Lincolnshire at the moment, so we've had like a 3-prong attack, haven't we? So 4, including both of them. But they were talking about what was that?
The
Super Leggero.
Super Prestigio.
Yeah, have you ever done that?
Well, I went with Tim and Tom.
Right.
So so we've all been down there.
Can you split them apart?
Yeah.
Damn it. Carry on. Great lad.
I didn't live in that bloody village for 4 years, so
there we
you
go.
got the hang of it a bit. So Tim and Tom were they were top of that. They were really good. But that week was fantastic. You know, you go down on a Tuesday and then you practice all week, and you're practicing. You know, Troy Bayliss was parked next to us one side, you know, and we got Tito about the other side of us. And everybody's just working out of a van. It's real cool.
With Tim and Tom, did you train them up from being a young age to getting good on the flat track side of things?
Well, them two lads are pretty natural lads, and you know, Tim come to me on a real crappy old Chinese bike. It had broken down, and I was just moved to his village, and I didn't really want to fix it, but I did fix it, and then I gave it to him, and I see Tim ride away, and you know what? You can tell when somebody can ride, can't you? Can see, can't you? You look at him, you think, I said, bloody hell, boy, you can ride. What you been doing, you know? And he said, oh, I only ride around the outfield. I said, and that time I had some spare bikes. I said, do you want to race? You know, and he said, oh, I'll have to ask my dad and all that. So that was it really, and I got Tim into racing. Tom couldn't race to start with because his dad had bought him a gun. So he wasn't allowed to race because he'd got a gun.
We've just had this story, but
it's even better second time round.
Now, from obviously you introduced them into the racing scene, and to see what they've went on to do, and you know that amazing day when they came first and second in the British Championship.
Do you get a
race.
cut of the prize money?
You must feel a big part of that.
Yeah, I do, and that sounds big, but the beginning bit, you know, that's what I'm really proud. I'm proud of them lads. I'm so proud of them lads, you know, and they want it. I love helping people out that want it. You know, it's all right if the dad comes and they're pushing them, your dad don't, you know, and all that. But them lads wanted it to do anything. You know, they're as tight because they won't spend money.
Farmers. Farmers.
Well, they're more than farmers, boy. I'll tell you
tight
now.
Farmers.
Tight farmers. Yeah.
Do you know, just saying that, I remember their first year at British Championship, and I was doing a track day at Silverstone. And I came in, and I'm quite analytical when I come in. With, I'll get my track map out, and I'll write out the things, and I'll have a think about the bike and whatever. So I was doing that, and them two came round with clipboards and track maps, and they were pinning us for questions and questioning this and questioning that. And I thought, fair play to you lads, because it. You know, people on track days, they'll go and they sort of keep them sense to themselves.
Here we go, you've converted them there.
And they were dead really, really interested in, you know, trying to figure out what springs to put on and that. And they were dead competitive. Yeah. And I just thought, you know, first year in British Championship, and then obviously went on to be winning races. And I was teammates with Tim halfway through last year. Yeah. And obviously they'll both be strong competitors of mine in Superstock this year.
They will,
well.
Chrissy. Yeah, you watch out for them boys. Yeah.
I will do.
Who's your money on then? Him, Tim, or Tom?
I'll tell you what, that youth
sticking you
between
on
you three, that is a tough.
It'd be a good podium, mate.
Yeah, that's just what I was going to say. I reckon there's a podium there. Right. I reckon there's a podium with all three of them. Definitely.
What a shit answer. Give me an answer. Come on.
Good day.
Honestly, I have no answer. No. Chrissy on his day, and he is awesome. And,
do you follow the BSB? Do you watch
all the racing? Don't miss a thing about it. You know, I'm you know, them lads are in it. I've got some other young lad, Franco Bourne, I mentioned from your way on, who does a British Talent Cup.
He comes here regularly for the flat track.
He does.
It's a long way to come, mind, isn't it? But it works. It's
again another lad that really wants it. You know, and his parents have not got a lot of money. His grandmother and granddad look after him, and you know, the lad really wants it, and we're just looking after him with a 600 at the moment because he's thinking about going to stock 600s now rather than off the rail bikes. Yeah. So we're trying to help him out a little bit with that, but you know, just people like that. I really enjoy working with them and seeing them forward. And yeah, between you three, I wouldn't want to. Honestly, I think there's a win in all three of you, and on the day it could be either of them.
Well, I'm going to try and get myself a wild card and just pinball that out of them just for the have some of that. I tell you what. Speaking of helping people, you're very, very close friends to a friend of ours, James Cowton. And I tell you what, the moment we have talked about hundreds of times over, and quite frankly, one of the best moments in motorcycle racing period, is when he went through that chicane and he just fully had it sideways.
Oh yeah,
Just sitting up, like
Wilson.
no, there was a gap. He didn't hit him. It was clean as a bloody whistle, and it was absolutely amazing. So, my question to you: how often was he actually here? Because he told me he's been here a couple of times.
He was a lot. Yeah,
because that style was phenomenal. It was just fully confidence, just in, back to, drop, bang, and it was just. It's the BBC constantly reposts it, and rightly so. It's a phenomenal bit, but you'll have to have a look at that. Northwest 200, 2000 and
2 years, at least 2 years. So it's 2 years.
No,
17. So it'd be maybe 3 years ago. Was it?
God, but anyway, if you type in James Cowton Northwest, it's going to be the first thing that pops up on you. But no, he's.
He was. I mean, he come here. I took him to Dublin. We did some demonstrations at a show down there, and we had him flat tracking there, and he was quite good, James. He was always good, but he just, like we was here and he got quite good. And then I was racing at Scarborough with him. I was doing the twins class with him there. And the little shit used to come past me absolutely sideways like that. I was like, fucking hell, I've been teaching you that, you swine. Like, past me.
Like right now, what's the crack for your like racing calendar? Obviously, you're working at the flat track. What and this year's been a bit
it's gone tits, Chrissy. Just say
gone
it.
tits, yeah.
So what? Under normal circumstances, what would you be doing?
Right. Well, under normal circumstances, I had 3 trips to the island, pre-TT, Manx 2-day trial, and the classic TT, and I was going to enter the Manx with the Super Mono as well, because I can do that with not riding the TT. So that was my plan for that was my main goal. But I was also racing in the European Flat Track Championship, which is only 4 rounds, so it's not that big a deal really. And then just all my other stuff really, just my fun stuff, which is trials riding, which I was going to try and do more of.
Does your wife actually see you?
She's quite happy to be rid of me, to be honest.
There's a sign of a healthy relationship there, Chrissy, like that.
We've been together a long time, I'll tell you now.
Are we going like, are you here this weekend? Piss off, go on your bike or something.
Yeah, no, she comes along quite a bit, so we do see each other. I mean, obviously we work together a bit as well, so it's all good really. But so for now we're looking at me and Dom raced at the weekend, obviously. So
out qualified me, Chrissy. Full on showed me the way around. Paul Young and Paul, I got me arse handed to us. So I tell you what,
you showed. Then you told him, Chrissy, all the tricks, and then the next thing I know, he knocked a bloody second.
Hey, I'm telling you. Use what you've got, young'un. When you've got a British title contender here, you use and abuse it like. But
that was brilliant.
No, learned a lot from you.
So we've got 2 Scarboroughs, haven't we?
Yes, the Racin coming up in a couple of.
What are you riding?
I am actually on board the counting machinery.
Right. Okay. So, are you doing riding any classic stuff?
No, they're only letting the 500 singles in. So like our inline 4s. What you raising your eyebrows at? Are you got an entry into something? Have you?
Yeah.
Hold on, the inline 4's in.
Well, I asked Mick, and he says just put your Honda in, so I'll put my Honda in.
Shut up, man.
Yeah.
Have
a word with him.
We're going to have a bloody word. No, because when I spoke to Sean, by the way, we're still on air on the podcast, so we're going to have
be in big trouble now.
No, because obviously when I spoke to Sean, it was only Hayley, lovely Hayley, on the phone, and she was saying it was only 500 singles pre-62, so that's like the Sealeys and Nortons.
Pre-72.
72, even 72. Yeah. But so the Davies team, they only have inline 4s.
According to Mick, when these regs went out, I thought it was going to run the full TT rules for all classes, but it didn't turn out like that.
And now the Davies team will get entries in the 750 class, but that's against the F1s, like the 750 F1s. Yeah. The Mistral, like absolutely bleeding rocket ships, Chrissy. And you're thinking, well,
now there is a 750 class up to I can't remember what year it is now, but it's only the 80s, so you won't be against them.
Hold on, but that's still up to the. But you see, that's thing. You don't want to go and make the numbers. That's the truth of it. If you're going to go race, you want to go and compete.
Want to be competitive.
But the way the regs sit at the moment for the Racin only. The bikes aren't allowed in. And
you're going to be so peeved to see me winning on my Honda, aren't you, in that singles race?
You wait till I see Fran. I'm going to Fran, on your twin there, can you just shove some cotton down one barrel? I'm just going to go race Boasty up the straight here. So no, we're there on the 600. Have
you ever been over to Macau to race, by the way?
No.
You've been spectate?
No, never had the opportunity, but. I won't race now, but leave it to you young lads. But yeah, it looks good, Dom.
It's mint.
It looks good.
See, it's mint.
Wait, well, should we? Are you fancying a game on the
we need
leaderboard?
to.
No, I'm not fancying it actually, Chris. To be honest,
we've had a demo off you. We'll have
a quick blast, and we usually do a few quick fire questions while we get this set up. So let's have a look.
Oh God, I'm not
Do you want to
looking
change?
so
If you
good.
move,
Oh yes, we're going to
Now,
move some cameras.
incidentally,
That
folks,
camera
I have
over.
never. This is the first time I've even touched an Xbox handle thing, whatever it is. I've
Right.
never even been on one, so I am terrible.
I don't.
Anyway, that's my excuses out the way. Here we go.
Right. So start at it's like Doran's Bend, and it's Sector 4 of the TT course.
I know the track really well. I just can't do it on one. Here we go.
So what was the first year that you went to the TT or the Manx?
The Manx, it was 82. The TT was 85.
And what for your first year at the Manx? What were you riding?
That bloody Ducati thing.
Was it?
That was terrible. But then I got an LC and a TZ. And
Ooh!
He's landed.
oh!
Oh, what's your most disgusting habit?
You
You know what I mean?
I like.
Here we go.
Well, it is disgusting. I suppose I pick my nose a bit, which is it's not. I think everybody does that, don't they? Do they?
Wait. Oh, you gotta dig out the bats out the cave now and then, haven't you?
Right,
That's it.
My missus is always telling me off for that. And I like sugar.
You like sugar?
Yeah.
It's got to be done, man. It's got to be done. It's going to be a bit of a long-winded one, but is there any regrets in
will
sport?
be a long-winded
It's going to be a
one.
long one. Any regrets? Kind of, anything that the more people you speak to in life, you think you end up regretting the things that you don't do rather than the things you've done.
Tell you what, though, I'd love to relive it all again and do it a little bit better. You know as much as I know. You just think, oh, if I made that decision, it could have gone that way or whatever. So, I think one of the things was I should have stuck at in my early days. I should have stuck at TZs and the Formula 2 World Championship a bit more because. What I didn't,
but that wouldn't have got you to where, like, you see, me listening to you and all our listeners listening to it, be going, what a life you've had. Like the stories, the crack, the places you've been. You've had. Yeah, you're still living the dream. Never mind, like the dream you've had.
I'm nearly living up that tree in a minute ago.
That's my job, young.
Yeah. This is good. This is mega. Yeah. I mean, I've loved every bit of it, but. It's not ended. Do you know what I mean, Dom?
Of course it hasn't.
We're not ended. So
you're miles off the end, young'un.
Yeah, I know.
You're miles off the end, and on this lap as well. You're doing a crap job.
Oh,
look at that!
Use a bit of the path. Use a bit of the path.
Right, left.
What?
This is straight. This is.
What age are you, Boasty?
55. Just
55.
one
No,
number off my number now. I'm just one over my number now.
Oh, there we go then.
So I still got a little ambition,
and there it is, lap time. Of
Oi.
2 minutes 39.
Have you got? If you turn the camera back around on
not a
that
bother.
one there, have you got anything left on the bucket list, Boasty? Then
Yeah.
Go on then.
I want to do what he's done.
Win a.
Well,
There's lots of things Dom's done.
So,
but lose a finger. Where do we start?
Yeah, I want Dom. You'll know more than anybody. And I'm always trying to. I've got to the age where reality is. I'm never going to ride in the TT because unless they bring a small bike class in, you boys, you're young. That's what you want to be. But I still have a dream of when I finish the TT race, I'm going to come up that slip road. And some bloke's going to be at the end with his arm out to go into that area where you're going to be on podium, and that's my dream. That's my number one dream left. That I want to do, and I've never done it. I've come up that pit road and gone straight up there to that frigging holding bay. Like, well done, lads. Your few mates come round and yeah, you've just done 6 laps around the island. You've ragged your ass off, and you're happy, aren't you? But what it must be like, Dom, to be turned. What is it like, Dom? It must be the greatest ever.
I thought they wanted to make me clean the public toilets around the corner. When I felt like, Dom will go clean them. He's a good lad. But
That is a good question. Was it a bit of an anticlimax the first time?
I don't get. I tell you what, like that 350 race that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I had a pit board at the bottom. It was coming on the last lap. It was a 3-lap race. It got shortened. It became a 3-lap race, and I was coming into Parliament Square, and everyone was clapping. And I came out of Parliament, turned right, heading up to Whitegates there, and I'm looking over my shoulder, going, "Oh, the winner must be coming by or something." I'm going around Whitegate.
Did you not have a clue where you was?
I hadn't a clue. I just because I started off number 8 down the road, and I just went boom, 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 and like I think
you passed a lot of people then.
like a fair few people, and I just went go, 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 because I knew Jamie and Rutter and Alan Osby, Lee Johnson. You know, you're thinking there's no way on God's green earth, you know. So it came on the last lap, and I went up the mountain, and then I got now, you know, where the sun's coming in, I got a pit board, and I'm going, I have an idea where the hell I am. And I came out at the top, and then you're coming in the Cregna bar, clapping. Guess what I did? I still had another look over my shoulder. Thinking, right, no one's there. And I just came in, and then it was just like, and then the closer I got, signposts, and people were really cheering, and went round the nook, and people were really cheering. I'm going, I've won this. I've won this. And I tell you what, I went down that road going, do not break down. I'm thinking, it's that quarter of a mile became 25 mile. I'm like, do not break down. Do not break down. I actually cracked the exhaust from the manifold up right. It nearly sheared clean off, and if that happened, it would have been game over. But as you know, around there, you need the luck.
You do.
And if you don't keep your head in any form of the race, and it's like last year, like I had a valve spring go off, but you know you still got to keep going and carry on from there. But
what's the closest you've came to that podium?
Oh, I've been the same race really, because I've been qualified at the TT. I've qualified sort of top 5 or 6, thinking, oh, right. I mean, in '88 production TT in the 600 class, I think I qualified 4th or something, and I thought, you know what, I'm in for a shout here.
You're damn right, you are.
Yes, so I was like, I was faster than Dunlop, I was faster than Whittam. I thought, do you know what, I'm in for a shout here. And I got so excited in the race, Dom. Honestly, I went straight on at Ramsey hairpin, screwed the corner up there, just did everything. And I think some of them have been sandbagging a bit in the practice as well. So
nice.
I ended up 14th or something in the end. But
see, it's never that. It's such a rare place, because if you're it's the only place where you have to try your damn hardest, Chrissy. But if you over try by that much, it's a crap lap. If you, you ride that place, and I mean, you're scratching in the corners, blah, 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 and you feel like you're getting on the floor, the back end's moving, you come in and going, yep, Hickman, move to the side, princess, you know what I mean, just give me the trophy, and you look at the sheet and go, you deflate, don't you? You immediately deflate, and you go, how the hell do I put a time in? It's the only place in the world, and then when you go slow, and again, you know, that's not that lap speed. There's no way it's that lap speed. It didn't feel like it. But then you go hossing round Cadwell as hard as you can. Yeah. And again, that felt like that. You do.
Here's a question for you. Out of all the disciplines, all the racing that you've done all around the world, is there one particular moment on anything is there one particular moment that stands out for you that was the best moment you've ever had on 2 wheels?
Out-qualifying me.
Yeah.
Pole position at the weekend.
Oh yeah, that was a result, wasn't it? Yeah.
Should have seen it walking by. For
me, for example, I think the first time I ever led a race, I'd been going, you know, racing, motocross and whatever for ages, and I'd always just been like sort of mid-packish and whatever, and I turned up at this club meeting. I qualified 5th, and I'd never ever had a podium. I'd never led a race or whatever. And the first lap, it was at the Old Snetterton, and I got onto the lead in the back straight, and I just remember thinking, I was like looking for red flags and that, I remember going down the back straight, tucked in, nailed on this little 125, and I was thinking to myself, when I get back, I'll be able to say I was actually leading the race. I was like, and then the Old Snetterton, you come round Coram, brake hard into that last chicane, and then do you know how the straights kind of kinked?
Yeah.
Going round there, and then as I kinked round like that and I was leading, I looked up and all I could see was my dad's face on pit walk, and obviously I was leading the race.
Yeah.
So like there was just my eyes and his eyes looking at each other, and it was like, ooh, we're doing it. And that for me, it doesn't matter, like championships, racing at BSB in front of loads of crowds. That to me, that's the best moment. Of, like, on two wheels for me. Do you have anything that stands out of like?
But I think you in your mind when you go racing, you have your expectations, don't you? And if you jump above them, that's your best moments, isn't it? That's when you think, crikey, I've been above what I expected, really. And then, like, you know, I think I'm just trying to think. I've had a 7th at BSB, which was my best, and that was like pretty cool. That was at Castle Coombe. Can you believe it? You used to go there. So yeah, so that was probably the best moment for short circuit racing. But flat track, I won the British and European in the same year, and winning the European in Italy was that was like I knew I had to finish 3rd to win it, and I was in a right dice between 2nd, 3rd and 4th. So when I crossed the line, I was pumped. I was pumped. I was like Dom when I seen it. When I seen that video of him in the pits when he's giving it all this, you know.
That's for 10th place. Like you say, it doesn't matter where you are.
Exactly. Moments. You know you've overachieved, haven't you? You know.
Oh God, it is sweet. I tell you what, you know, when you're talking about those first moments, similar with my dad. It was the first race I ever won was in a go-kart.
Yeah.
No, never. Like it was a birthday party, so it wasn't like I was bombing around with Lewis Hamilton or anything like that.
Hello.
And I start from the back. I qualified 5th. It was like a knockout tournament thing, and I remember I started straight from the back, 5th out of 5 karts, indoor track. Everyone piled it in the first turn. And I just went on the inside and I led it from pretty much like from the flag to flag. And I'll never forget me father, right, hanging over the barrier. It wasn't go on, son. It was like in his eyes, and he's pointing at his head, hanging over the barrier, going, "Don't fuck it up." Think about it. You know what I mean? My dad doesn't swear, but I can see it in his eyes. He's going, "Think about it." And I'm going like that, thinking, my dad's going to be so proud. He's like, I'm gonna get told off. You know what I mean? Like,
I tell you what,
I'll never forget that.
You'll obviously know this from listening to the podcast, but we've had Dom uses the expression "young'un" quite a lot.
He does.
He's a young'un. He's a young'un.
He's explained, you know, what he means by young'un and things, and you are exactly like what he's talking about.
Really?
As in, like you can see it, you're still chasing it in your eyes. You're like a 20-year-old, like inside a 55-year-old body. And
I want to be you boys again. Do it again.
You get that straight away. You can feel that
the
energy and
don't
like you're
We get
racing,
pumped
doing
up
this.
still, you know. Why not?
Let's get on the bikes. Let's get on the flat track.
Yeah.
Let's screw the interview. Let's go for it.
It's mega. It's mega though, and you know, having something in your life that I was speaking to somebody yesterday about this actually, and actually finding. I think we're so lucky in the fact that we've found something that actually, you know, like sort
sparks
of
it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It
sparks
does,
that thing. And when you look around the world, you know, so many people, especially our age, are sticking things up the nose and like whatever to try and get that hit. And we found
shed air around this area.
No, but I'm serious. People, you know, everyone in life needs needs something, and like a lot of the time people can't find it. So you know, snorting cocaine or whatever it is. But the fact that we found
motorcycles, that's our drug, isn't it?
Exactly, and
it's
you're a living.
It's a pretty dangerous one, actually.
And it makes cocaine look cheap. So it's like, we need help,
but
gentlemen.
You're a living example of what it's all about.
Thanks,
really.
Chris.
So,
You're my hero.
And I think on that bombshell, quick shout out to obviously our patrons. Big thanks to our patrons and
our sponsor, Flat Track School there.
Thank you.
School, and we'll do some sort of competition for somebody to
Yes,
win.
Please pick somebody out, get them to get in touch with us, and we'll sort them out a good day.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Well, it's been emotional.
So,
Take care.
And you.
Take care, young'un. See you in a bit, son.